Hi, I'm Chris, the Fireplace Whisperer, and what is a tape measure? Well, in my hand, I have a 25-foot tape measure. What does that mean? That means it can measure things up to 25 feet. Now, they make all kinds of tape measures in different lengths and sizes and colors. Let me show you specifically this one. I can measure down to the 1/16 of an inch, which is very small. Each line in this tape measure, and I'm going to start at 10 just for illustration purposes, but each line that you see here represents 1/16, and there are 16 1/16ths in 1 inch. Now this next longer line that you see here represents 1/8, and there are 8 1/8ths in 1 inch. So here's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8, which equals 1. The next longest line that you see here represents a quarter, and there are 4 quarters in 1 inch. 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters, which equals 1 inch. So if I were measuring a board and I wanted it to be 10 3/8 long, I would go to my 10, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So right here, this is where I would make my mark on my wood, and that's where I would cut. And now my board is 10 3/8. Now there are a couple things that most tape measures will have. One will be a belt loop, so you can stick it on your belt. The other thing is a lock, so when you extend this out and you press this slider down, it will lock this from recoiling back into the tape measure. So that can be extremely handy. The other thing is the movement in this tip right here. You can see this little movement side to side, and that movement is the thickness of this end right here. So about that 1/16 of an inch, that movement right there is the same thickness there. So it compensates. So if you're measuring up against something and then measuring that way, or if you're pulling on something and measuring that way, that will compensate for the thickness of that tip. So if you need to measure things and then cut them and want them to fit, a tape measure is the tool that you'll want to use. If you found this tape measure tutorial to be helpful, hit the subscribe button, and you'll see future videos from the Fireplace Whisperer. Thanks for taking the time. We'll talk to you soon.